topical stuff. Okay, hi everybody. Welcome back. This is Slow Fashion Rebel. My name is Emily. I'm in Brooklyn, New York, and this is my lovely friend
Sophie, and I'm in Cheltenham in the UK.
So Sophie and I met last summer while she briefly lived in Brooklyn with her husband Jake and their adorable dog Lucas, who sometimes makes an appearance.
Yes.
And we love each other and like to keep in touch in this way. That's kind of the whole story. We're crafters. We talk about knitting and sewing and cross stitch and a bit of drawing sometimes too, and kind of like I like to talk about like the creative process in general. So we are back after a long hiatus. Thank you for sticking with us and being patient, especially since we didn't announce the hiatus at all. We did Vlogmas, which was really fun and also really challenging. And we both got pretty burned out. So we took a long time off. And at the moment, we're doing once a month, which may change at some point, but for now that's sort of like what seems manageable to us because I need time for looking for a new job, and Sophie also the same.
He just has stuff.
Just wants time back to herself. So anyway, we were just talking about number one, the difference between Jinx like in the US versus the UK. Apparently it's different. Number two, modern folk embroidery, the floss tube that we both are obsessed with. I mean, I'm obsessed. Sophie watched one, and so
I was pretty impressed. I just need to know how he, can stitch so quick.
Well, I think he uses the sewing method. So it's like, you go in and then come out and, in one motion. And he also does monochromatic. And the one that you're doing is like really a lot of colors, right?
It's been on pause for quite a while.
I know. Yeah, mine is, the one that I started on New Year's Day and was like, I posted a whole bunch and got all these reactions on Instagram, and then I just have not picked it up at all. Yeah, I do feel like I do that all the time. Whenever I like announce something on social media that I'm excited about, then I just completely ignore it for a long time.
You're preaching to the choir.
I'm the best.
Whips, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you got coffee as well?
Yes, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, I love that mug.
Thank you. This is, I think is that what's her name?
Shirley Can.
Yes. I've become recently obsessed and I really want to get her there's like a skein patch thing I want to get for my denim jacket. Maybe it says something on it, I can't remember.
That sounds good.
Quite sassy, of course.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. I met her a couple of years ago at Vogue Knitting Live, and I was like a little bit fangirling because she's a graphic designer, and I was like, I'm in design school right now, and I love your work, and blah 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 blah. And I was like, can I show you what I'm, and she was really nice about it, and she was like, yeah. She asked me how long I was doing it for, and I said a year, and she was like, that's really good for a year. Anyway.
I feel like she's so like on top of every trend. Like I feel as though I see something on Instagram that's kind of related, and then like a second later, she's already got the merch for it.
Yeah.
Like just does it such like she's so responsive. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's impressive, definitely.
Yeah. Like obviously I don't live in the US, but Bernie and his mittens.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Yeah. the next day, literally,
Yeah,
she had drawn.
literally.
And I was just
This
like,
is how you can get it.
I haven't even finished sort of like taking this all in, and you've already got a product out.
The badge. Yeah, her stuff is cool.
So,
It's kind of, I feel like it's obviously amazing when makers are really, really successful and, you know, they get all these huge followings. And then at the same time, it's frustrating because it means it's really hard to ever get your hands on anything they then make, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
Maybe on it, especially with the time difference. That's something I think I was waiting for like an update the other day. I don't know why, because I don't need any more wool, let's be honest. But I was like, oh, I'll just have a look in the update. And then, of course, I fell asleep. And by the time I woke up the next day, it had all gone anyway. I was like, oh.
For hers or a yarn?
No, it was from, what's her name? Let me find her. I do have some of her yarn. It's super pretty. Trying to think. I could probably just go and get the wool and then rather than just like looking through. Oh no, Coast to Coast yarn. She always has the nicest. Nicest? Yeah, that is a word. I really wanted some of her tweed.
Ooh, that's wool. Lovely.
She just has really nice colours. So I have got 2 of her shades that's just waiting. I know what I'm going to make with it. I just haven't got around to making it. I want to make a cardigan and then a top from her mushroom collection. I could just go get it, couldn't I, rather than just talking about it and not actually showing you the goods. Ow!
So today I'm wearing my Nurtured sweater. Tried to talk while she's gone so that I don't have to cut all this out. I was just telling them I'm wearing my Nurtured sweater. This is my favorite.
I like your hair today too, Emily. I was thinking that.
I'm sorry?
I like your hair as well today.
Oh, thank you. This was very minimal effort. It definitely needs washing and I need a haircut. So I appreciate that quite a lot.
I just tripped over one of Lucas's toys on my way out.
Oh no!
Stubbed my toe.
It's like I like your hair today too. It's like sassy and got wispy.
Thanks. It's stuff. You know what we call day 2, like the little man bun.
Yeah, yeah. Love it.
Like a gnome. This is what I was getting.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is her turkey tail. And then this is pink oyster. So from her mushroom collection. Yeah, I'm just obsessed with her colours in general.
Those are beautiful.
She's based in Kansas, which kind of lends like an extra mythical edge to it. Like, you know, click, click.
Oh, because of, the Wizard of Oz.
Probably saw Jake coming in and out then.
Yeah, hi Jake.
He's gone back to work. He's working from home.
Oh, again? Oh, just today.
Yes, we had snow. Yes, well, not like anything near the level of like actual snow, but enough snow that his colleague could make it into the office. So he thought he'd take the opportunity he went in this morning and he's working from home this afternoon. So I rushed around, getting all my cleaning done, did all the hoovering this morning, ready. And now it gives me a perfect excuse to sit down. And I was like, well, I'm really busy this afternoon talking to Emily, so you better not disturb me.
Yeah, absolutely. You're so good that you have the like cleaning routine in the mornings and stuff. I'm so impressed by that. I feel like I've been feeling more, not really because of the new year, but I guess that does coincide with the new year, but just wanting to get myself organized. This was one of the things that I was going to talk about actually, because as we were talking about cross stitch, I just discovered a new floss tuber whom I like, whose name is Jen. I forget what her channel name is, but she designed this planner. Like the cross stitch community is so interesting with how they manage their whips, because like a lot of people who are like diehard cross stitchers have like 40 whips at one time, which is insane. And so they like rotate them on certain days. It's like they have one that they pull out every Sunday. They have like, you know, I work on this one on the 25th of every month. Like if it's a Christmas thing, they're like, I work on this on the 25th every month. And so this woman, Jen, like came up with, just designed an entire planner based around this concept of trying to organize like how your rotation works if you have a lot of whips, which I think is genius. I mean, the thing is, like, I have like literally 3 cross stitch projects, so I don't need that for cross stitch specifically. But when I sort of like pull out of or look at it in a within a larger scope. I say pull out as if it's like a camera on this and then, you know, zooming out to like a wider angle. I have a lot of projects. I have a lot of craft projects, and I do get a lot of knitting projects that are, you know, need to get done. And it's like, it's those things where I, you know, don't want to work on them, but I also don't want to throw them away. And, you know, I'm just kind of, I really have this urge to just have a list of like what things are, you know, in what stage, and just be more organized about really everything in my life, not just crafting. But I thought that, I mean, I definitely want to take a page out of her book.
That's such good. I think I need to get that in my life as well.
Maybe literally, yeah.
I have a whole bunch of whips, and I'm very good about forgetting what those are when I, you know, decide I'm just going to start something new instead of actually. And it's the same thing of like, I don't want to throw it away because I still want it. I just don't really want to work on it.
Right.
Like, as in I do, but I'm not super motivated.
Right.
I think that'd be quite good.
When I have like, I have videos on this channel that are like really well organized. You know, this is what my strategy is. I was at that time on ADD medication, and now I'm not any longer, which is better right now for my mental health because I'm less depressed. I'm not having crashes, but it is also a little harder to be super organized. So, but anyway, like I just really want to get back to that. I also had some family stuff, which you know about, that like sort of really derailed my desire to stay organized, which is okay, you know, because I just needed to take a step back and make sure that I was okay emotionally. But now I'm definitely like feeling motivated to get back into bullet journaling because that really helped. And yeah, so maybe we can like split a digital version of her calendar and
just get organized.
Right.
Do you think it's like a crafting
right
side effect, isn't it?
This is what I was going to say. I like started talking and then completely forgot what the actual point is. I'm so sorry. So what I was actually going to say was, when I used to have these strategies for like getting all of my stuff done, it was sort of about, I had this thing where I would like start a bunch of projects, like going on a starting spree and then go on a finishing spree. And for a while that really worked, and I was able to manage about like 7 projects at once. But I was mostly just knitting at the time. And now I really have expanded to be doing a lot of different things at once. Like I am really into cross stitch, but it's like I also am still knitting just as much, and I'm sewing more. So it's like, because it's all different categories, it's a lot harder to keep all in my head. And also I feel like when I was doing the finishing spree, it was I mean, it was easier because there's like a smaller number of projects, but the concept of, you know, having this rotation where you just work on it for like one day out of the month is a lot different from that, you know, because it's like you don't have to force yourself to do a project that, I mean, you shouldn't force yourself to do a project that you don't want to do, period. But I have a hard time letting things go if I've started, you know, and so it's like
being on Sleeve Island, you just sometimes
right.
you just power through.
You know, and if you have a structure, you're like, okay, I'm gonna work on it for 1 hour every month, you know, like, you know,
Yeah.
check that off in my little journal, like and then you do see progress, and at least it's all sort of managed and stuff. Anyway, that was my point.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you
think that's
for
a really good idea. Because even I was thinking, I have a new test knit that starts today that's obviously knitting, test knit. But I'm super obsessed with the English paper piecing.
right.
I still haven't finished the other jumper. So in my head, I'm like, well, how am I going to manage? Because obviously, I mean, even though it's a very generous timeline, there's still a timeline for me to do the test knit within. And I don't think that would be a problem, but it's kind of like, as you're talking, I was then thinking, how am I going to manage my time? Because I also really want to do the English paper piecing. And like, yeah, I want to make the jumper, like I'm still interested in that. But at the moment, I'm like so obsessed with the quilting. It's like, how do I split up my time to make sure I'm getting like a little bit of both so I can still see progress on both projects?
Yeah.
So I think the whole like working on something one day and the next actually might be quite useful, even just in the short term.
Yeah.
And I also like the idea of the once a month. Maybe that's how I get my cross stitch done.
There you go. Yeah. I was just thinking too, like that mitten project that I talk about, for the little garland mittens that were up here during Vlogmas and stuff. I have 8 of them. They're supposed to be 24. But since it's a Christmas project, I could do it on the 25th of every month. Just work on that for the 25th of every month.
That'd be so cute.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to look up Jen and her organizational ideas.
I'll send you a link, and so we can put it in the down bar also. I have to say, I don't think I want to be editing these videos anymore.
Let's do it. Everyone can hear me running into a toy. Stubbing my toe.
We can talk about that if you want, but that just takes a lot of time. So
I don't think we need to, do we? Unless we say something really bad. Let's see what happens.
yeah.
How far can we push the boundaries?
Right.
Emily, what have you been working on?
Oh, I was just about to ask you. I have so much stuff because it's been a month. So where do I start? I will start with this shirt that I made because we talked about it in the past.
Oh, it's so cute.
So this is the Cali shirt by Closet Core Patterns. I love it. It doesn't have any buttons on it yet because I was waiting to get the buttons in the mail, but I got them. So they're like little, my camera's gonna do this.
Oh, they're really cute.
So they're little like pearly buttons, and you're gonna be excited about this.
Yes.
And
I love it.
So the only thing that is left to be done is, you know, attaching those things. I think I just said that my machine doesn't have a button holder. So that's why I have, I was waiting because I was waiting for the buttons, but now I'm waiting because I need to do it on another machine. So I need to either go to work or to Jacqueline's house to use her sewing machine.
I'm going to interrupt you. It doesn't sound really silly because you are amazing at sewing, but it just looks so professional.
Well, thank you.
So perfectly finished.
Thank you.
Which I wouldn't expect anything less, but I feel like I just need to tell you that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. This is the second time I've made this shirt, so a lot of kinks got worked out on the second try. This is another project that was in many of our previous episodes. This is La Nuit. So a lot of stuff got done. It will say La Nuit. There's a companion piece called Le Jour. And yeah, this is one of those ones where I'm working on it a little bit at a time. This might be good for like a calendar type rotation thing. This nobody has seen before.
I'm excited.
This is a new sweater. Sophie's seen it, but
oh my god, you've done so much.
I know. I'm loving stockinette these days, honestly. It's kind of the only knitting I want to do right now. So this is the other raglan by Ivy and Autumn. The yarn is Little Fox Vixen, which is a merino and silk base in the color Mandolin Orange. So it's going to have long sleeves like these, and then it's going to have a mock neck. And I'm really excited.
Love it.
Turtleneck, my only turtleneck that I own. And
I think I might have to make this jumper as well. Not at the moment, like in the winter of 2021. It's so nice. Maybe I should do it in the matching yarn, because Emily and I actually have the same yarn base, so maybe I should just make it in the same.
Oh, that's right.
Twinning in a different color. My color is like a bluey.
Right. Like a periwinkle blue.
And back to back. That could be our poster.
Yeah. Sounds good. The only other thing I have to show is that I've been doing a little bit of mending on a shirt for Tim, and I feel very like 1800s, but like in a good way. He appreciates it. So this is just a flannel shirt that he's worn to pieces, kind of literally. That is an example of something I still have to do. So this is what I did yesterday.
So cool.
Thank you.
Did you get your inspiration from kind of like anything in particular, or just went with the flow of?
So there's this book that we have at Brooklyn General called Mending Matters. I think that's what it's called. And it's like an instructional book on sashiko embroidery. So I flipped through that and then watched a couple of YouTube videos, and it's pretty easy. The hardest thing actually is to like get the grid, to like have the grid, maintain the grid over this part, because I did all of this overcast stitching first so that it would stay in place, because when I did this one, this is another area, I did the overcast stitching last, which I mean, I don't know that either one is better. I kind of think I might go back to doing this, but it's just like in the actual ripped areas, it's kind of hard to see where your grid needs to be. Yeah. But it's helpful that this is plaid, because I can kind of follow the plaid. But yeah, it takes forever.
Does it?
Yeah. It's really
love.
Yeah, I'm like, you better appreciate this. You better wear the shit out.
I feel snug.
But he will. He does. And he will.
I really want to try some
really cute, like all the little, like I like.
Yeah, I mean, it's so perfect. I was just admiring like how perfect all the stitches and the square look.
Thank you. I did not feel that way when I was doing it, but I feel like the overall look is good. I mean, this is again the second try. This was the first try. I was having a hard time understanding how to like make the crosses offset from each other and close together at the same time. But I worked it out on the second one.
So cool.
So that's it. What have you been working on?
Wow. Let me tell you, I didn't finish the whole jumper, but I finished the body on my Sawyer pullover.
Yay!
Getting a bit blown out. And then have proceeded and blocked it. Like I was so ahead of myself, I was going to block the body, and I do it all straight away, and then have proceeded to do absolutely nothing else on it, obviously, because, you know, why finish it when I'm so close?
Right.
Yeah, loving it. I tried it on and really love the fit of it as well.
Okay.
This wool is so nice from Black Elephant UK. Feels lovely. But basically, all of my time, I've become obsessed, and I don't know if it's like a lockdown thing or just like this is the perfect project for like 2020/2021 and all of the madness. But I've become smitten with my smitten English paper pieced quilt. We're currently sat in the kitchen, and my husband Jake has been getting a bit frustrated because I've taken over like the whole of our breakfast bar, and it's just constantly set up with a cutting mat and my pile of fabric. He's like, are you planning on moving this anytime soon, Sophie? No, Jake, I'm not actually. So, Lucas has decided to make an entrance.
Hi, Lucas.
He's run off to the front door. Probably heard some. This is the pattern, and I have just been making block after block. I'm just gonna flick through them really quickly. So I've had this for 2 weeks. Like all I've been doing is this.
That's amazing. They look so beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, that one's so cute.
This one reminded me of you, actually.
Oh, I love it.
I feel like I've flipped my camera around, so it's really confusing me where to hold stuff. This is my favorite block.
It's beautiful. I love the hands.
I think they say you only have to make 5 of these, but I might swap out this style of block in terms of the hexagons. I don't really like that for more of these. Or I might play around with the shapes in this one. I've been, because you know, it's not good enough to just do something as it is. And I've got mini blocks too.
Oh,
literally, like, I've just been going absolutely mad. So I've just got more in front of me. So I've become obsessed, Emily. All I can do is think about fussy cutting, basting bits of fabric onto paper, and then hand sewing it together. It just feels like the perfect, I wouldn't say mindless, but you know what I mean? Of like, it's totally absorbing, but also doesn't require like that mental capacity. So it's so repetitive. It's just
meditative. I think meditative is a much better word than mindless.
That is the perfect word.
So you're doing them by hand. I didn't realize.
Wow. Yeah, so each one is like whip stitched together, which I'm just really enjoying. Like the teeny tiny, I guess they're probably like a couple of millimeters apart each stitch. I've just been loving it. I watched Tula Pink's, there's her name again, Tula Pink's video on the Fat Quarter Shop's YouTube. She has 3 videos on English paper piecing. That's been my only introduction to English paper piecing. And I've just been following her advice, basically. Apart from not to stitch during the day, because she says day stitching is the equivalent of day drinking. And I mean, I'm a bit of a day drinker anyway, so I have been day stitching too.
I'm a day stitcher.
I know. She was like, oh, it just feels so wrong to stitch in the day. I was like, does it? I feel like it feels great.
Yeah, it does. And it feels also wrong. I feel both of those things at the same time.
Naughty stitching. yeah, the idea is the quilt is gonna, so far I've been making blocks kind of at random, but with a color palette in mind. So I've got sort of 4 distinct, just dropped a triangle on the floor, 4 distinct color groups. And I'm planning on the quilt to fade from like hot pink through to, I guess like this mustardy amber, then into acid green, and then into blue, like color wash, I guess. So we'll see how that works out.
That's exciting.
It is exciting.
How many more do you have to do? How big is it going to be?
So the quilt is 48 by 61 inches. So it's just like a throw size. There's 16 of the large blocks and then 36 small blocks to make. So 3 blocks make a large block, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I keep thinking I've done loads, and every time I count them up, I go, actually, I'm not even a quarter of the way through.
Right.
But yeah, I'm just really enjoying it.
That's good.
And I feel like fussy cutting might be my new thing. Even
It
though
makes a huge difference. It looks so good.
I was conscious as well in terms of the fabric. I've only used fabrics from, well, with the exception of a couple, from Tula Pink or Ruby Star Society.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ruby Star Society always makes me think of you, Emily. Just to try and keep some sort of
Consistency.
cohesion. Yeah. And I just really like their prints. I think they're really contemporary. I wanted to make it contemporary and just filled with things that I like, even if it doesn't make sense, like eggs and bananas and turtles. Like,
I feel like it makes sense because it is the same drawing style, like the same illustration style because of the colors and thicker line weights, it's not like delicate watercolor type of print. It's like a graphic, bold. So it makes sense, even if it's a different subject, I think.
I'm glad you're supporting my decisions.
Always. I will always support your decisions.
And also the scissor fabric makes me think of your scissors in the background.
These ones.
A little bit of, Emily in the quilt too.
Yay.
But yeah, I've been shopping on So Hot, which is a fabric website, quite a lot. So I had to do another order the day because I was like, oh, I don't have enough acid greens. Because I guess like there's a color bias, isn't there? I looked down, I obviously had loads of pink fabric, quite a lot of blue fabric, and then not much the greeny ones. I was like, oh, I guess I'll have to order more. But I've just been ordering fat quarters, so hopefully I should be able to get the whole quilt out of just fat quarters, which I guess for some, I suppose it probably tells you somehow how much fabric you need. You probably don't need as much as I've bought, but with the fussy cutting, you kind of lose.
Yeah, it's
quite a lot.
Yeah.
But it's worth it, I think, in the long run.
I do too. I think so too, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just loving it. So I can't wait. And then I guess I could just show you the wool that's for my test knit. Have I shown you a picture of it yet? What the final jumper is going to look like?
I don't think I've seen the jumper, but I've seen the wool.
So this is...
I'm jealous. That looks really nice to work with.
This is so up your street. I feel like my colors are really bad, but... So this is by... now I'm going to pronounce it wrong. I know I am, but I'm going to say Bouchelane, which is a French brand. And this is a coup. Don't worry, I'm giggling at myself. I feel like I'm back in school. I haven't done French since GCSE. Crescent 50. I'm just going to go with that pronunciation. And basically the color is the Aphrodite colorway. So it's like Aphrodite's Tears is the translation.
Ooh.
It's just really nice, like fingering weight. It's really toothy, I guess is the terminology people would use. I feel
What's
like it would make great color work. I'm excited to see the cables.
what's the fiber?
It is wow, I could okay. So 25% merino.
Mm-hmm.
The other ones are in French and I can't translate them.
Okay.
But I'm gonna send you a picture. I'll put it into
Okay.
Google Translate. I could just Google Translate it now. I'm gonna show you the jumper first though.
Okay. Ooh. Oh, yes.
Got the cables on the
That's
underneath.
lovely.
And again, it's the stocking stitch that we've been craving.
Mm-hmm.
So it's called the Barina Pullover and it's designed by Elena Jamsa. And it'll be in Making Stories issue 6.
Cool.
Okay. I'm going to find Google Translate. Which apparently I don't have the app.
Can you say what they are called in French?
Mm-hmm. If anyone
Really?
is French, please do not correct my pronunciation. So 50% moutons de l'île de Ousson, which I guess is where the name comes from. So it must be a type of fiber. Then 25% moutons, Elvives, and Finstère. And then 25% merinos, dowels.
That sounds like it's wool, because mouton is sheep.
Yeah.
So it's like wool from the Isle of blah blah.
That's very true.
I think it's just telling you where they're from, not like a breed. Which
Breakdown.
I mean is kind of what the breed is also anyway.
I'm quickly typing it in now. I'd like to point out the whole website was in French as well. So I don't know how to translate a page. So I feel like I summoned all of my knowledge from when I was 16. Okay. Sheep from the island of Oussant. Oussant? I'm gonna find out where this place is. I'm gonna take a brief tour into French. I apologize if anyone.
Well, I apologize for like forcing you to go down this road.
So it's a breed of sheep from an island off the coast of Brittany.
Oh, cool.
Let's find out what the other ones are. Well, I guess it's the island of Finstère and then merino from somewhere.
Recently in our knit group, we were talking about what Rambouillet is, and everybody was sort of like, oh, well, I guess we'll look it up later. And I was like, I must know now. Like, and looked it up. And it's just merino from a certain area in France.
Also. Yeah, basically you're absolutely right. They're just telling you where the sheep are from.
Yeah.
So we can all plan a nice holiday to get some knitting.
Well, it sounds lovely.
Yes, I've completely mangled it, and trust me, it sounds much better than I'm making it sound.
You did great. You did a great job.
I tried to keep though and not be pleased with me. Can't remember her name. I don't know. I always feel like embarrassment gets in the way for me with languages, like because I feel like I'm not a self-conscious person, but when I'm speaking, a different language,
absolutely.
I just get embarrassed and I feel like I'm messing it up. So therefore, I feel like I make it worse because I'm not necessarily like fully committing because I'm embarrassed of making a mistake, which in itself is probably worse than if I just went for it unashamedly.
I mean, a life without shame is, I guess, not really, I don't know, we just in our culture have a lot of
need it to keep you grounded.
Shame. I mean, it's interesting that I really appreciate that we can, and you and I, and also in our culture, can talk about like how we feel in like the moment. I think I've been doing a lot of work uh, in therapy about with on observing my own feelings and thoughts and reactions to things, and not letting them overwhelm me, but naming them. And like I've been into meditation for a while. I don't like sit down and meditate at a designated time. Well, I guess I do, because I just do it right before I go to bed, but I'm like in bed, like with my pajamas, and I just like play this little tape and for 10 minutes. And I started out for a while, I was just like, I'm just gonna use this to fall asleep, and I'm not gonna try to like meditate. But then it like slowly evolved into me actually meditating for 10 minutes right before I
And
fall
that's
asleep.
really
So
good.
it's not like, I'm doing this. I'm just like, and I'm like, I can move, it's not like I'm trying to be still, just like trying to, when I have a thought, name it as a thought. And like one thing that I really found helpful when I think it was the 10% happier guy, Dan something, he was talking about it, like most people when they are meditating, it's like you get mad at yourself when you realize that you have been having all these thoughts, and then you have to go. And that was what I was doing forever, and why I didn't like meditating, because I was just like constantly getting frustrated. But then he said, you have to realize that that moment is a huge victory, because the whole point is recognizing when you are having a thought, and that you are the person who's observing the thoughts, not you are the thoughts themselves. You know what I mean? So like the fact, like the thoughts are gonna keep coming, and that's not something that you can control. But like the fact that you can wake yourself up from that, like not being carried away by them, is
own them.
Yeah, is the whole point.
That's quite interesting. Yeah, to have like distance from your thoughts and be able to have the thoughts, but also observe that you're having them, and almost what's the word? Like examine them at the same time, of like bring them down.
Yeah. So you saying like what was happening, when you say I get really self-conscious, like when I'm, in other languages, I feel like a really mindful, kind of mature statement, because it's like you're accepting that you're not perfect, and that you have this feeling, and it's kind of like not detaching from it, but it seems like you're kind of forgiving yourself for having that embarrassment. And
yeah, nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, you're not perfect, none of us are, but you tried. So
yeah, I thought it'd be horrible if everyone was a perfect human being. We need flaws. I'm gonna sneeze.
Bless you.
I mean, my sneeze, on the other hand, pretty damn perfect. Perfect. I just keep catching sight of my little like carrot top.
I love it.
What was I going to say? I was going to say to you about the TV show that I've been watching.
Ooh.
I May Destroy You. Just because I feel like I didn't really sell it. So there's a TV show called I May Destroy You, written by Michaela. I don't know if you say her surname Cole. I guess it must be Cole, Coel. That's how I would guess. Well, maybe it's Coel. I don't know. I'm a really big fan of hers. She's a British writer, comedian. She did another TV series based on a play called Chewing Gum that was also really good, that came out a few years ago. I believe this TV series came out actually last year, but I recently just watched it on BBC iPlayer and spent the entire week like gripped, 12 episodes. And I guess the main thing that she tackles is, so in the TV show, she goes on a night out, she basically gets drugged and sexually assaulted in a toilet.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So, and then the whole series, it takes place, I guess, over a year of her life. And it's examining how she deals with it and sort of like the repercussions. But it's more than that at the same time. It's also like looking at her as a Black woman in the UK. Where does she fit in with that kind of questioning societal norms just across the board? It's really funny as well at the same time. It's really sweet. There's lots of moments. It also follows her friends. I don't know, just the whole thing is kind of like so much more than that. And it's almost like her examining herself as a person and, sort of becoming to an acceptance with who she is and all different aspects of her life that are kind of triggered by this one instance. And I know for some people that the topics it covers are, really triggering and awful, but at the same time, I just would really urge people to watch it because I just think she did such a great job. So she wrote it and she also stars in it. She just did such an amazing job with it. Like I literally was gobsmacked when I finished it, and I haven't watched a TV show in, for ages. It's had kind of such an effect of just making me, I don't know, like I just felt like a sense of catharsis when I finished it, and I feel like it had made me kind of examine myself and kind of accept some things about myself that I didn't even know was an issue. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's on HBO in America, but it might be other ways to watch it. But generally, I just thought it was really amazing. So yeah, I'm gonna stop whittering on about it now, but just
it's okay. I
throw
appreciate
it out there.
That was awesome.
Just because, yeah, I don't know, I felt like you would kind of appreciate the nuances in it too. But yeah.
I've been watching Broadchurch.
Such a good show. What series are you on?
Number 1, like episode 3 or 4. Yeah.
That was when that was on in the UK, like, 'cause I think they did like 3 series of it or something. And oh my God, the nation was gripped every week.
I'm gripped. I feel gripped.
It like made headline news. People are like, what happened?
Right, yeah. Olivia Colman is so amazing.
She is amazing.
She's so amazing.
I feel like she's one of those actresses that I guess like many great actors and actresses didn't kind of really hit their career until later in life. Like same with like Alan Rickman, for example. And she's just so amazing.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen Fleabag also? Did we talk about this? Yeah, she's so good in that too. I love her in that. I mean, I love her in The Crown also, of course.
Yeah, she's just so funny, and again, there's like so much depth to her characters that she manages to get across as well.
She's so human in all of them too. Like,
I really want to go for like afternoon tea with her. I feel like she'd just give like a really good hug, and she'd just be really interesting, like conversation.
Yeah, and interested.
Yeah, because she comes across, whenever she's interviewed as well, she comes across so well. I don't know if you've ever seen like Graham Norton or anything, which is a really good talk show. It's, I guess, quite different to the American talk shows because you can swear and you can say whatever you want on them. And they have this thing at the end of the show where the audience members sit and they call it the big red chair, and they have to tell a story, and if the story is rubbish, a lever gets pulled and they get flipped over backwards. But it's just a really great show, and she's been on there quite a lot, and she just comes across really well. Like she's really funny, and Sweet.
Doesn't get the chair flipped over on her.
Well, I don't know. That's an audience member that's in the chair. Some celebrities are quite, like vicious because they get to pull the lever.
Oh, they're the ones.
But yeah, it's funny. You should watch it.
Yeah. Well, we're not talking about crafts anymore, so
No, we've gone off.
perhaps we should wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next month. Until then, Sophie's been doing a lot of Instagram posting. I have not. Again, I just really want to find a new job. I was thinking actually about how to address this. I work at Brooklyn General Store, which is the yarn store in Brooklyn, and in this online community, and I love them and feel very fortunate to work there. And I also just finished school as graphic design school, so I want to start my graphic design career. But I do feel very lucky to have a job that I'm a really good fit, in the meantime.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel great to be out in the world right now, to do it in a retail store. And, again, I love that job, but I just really like to have a design job. So if anybody out there needs a designer or knows of anything, I'm available. And also I just need to use my extra time trying to work towards that goal. So
yeah,
I'm hoping that once I do get a job, I'll have a lot more. I mean, a lot more of my time will be taken up because working full time is intense, but my extra time I can focus more on, social media, fun time stuff.
And social media takes a lot of time. I think people underestimate how much time it takes. Even just taking pictures and editing your photos and writing captions.
Yeah.
Let alone the rest of
this. Yeah. But I'm happy that we have a schedule of once a month, because I would be doing 12 per day and then 0, I just drop off the face of the planet. And it was that was a good idea.
Yeah, consistency.
Yeah. I think maybe eventually I'd like to do every 2 weeks, to go back to 2 weeks, but for now once a month is better.
Yeah. Focus on you doing you.
Right.
I say that in a way of I'm supporting you, because that should be your priority.
You are. Thank you so much. And you all are also, so thank you for your support.
Yes.
I still have an Etsy shop. I still have masks in my Slow Fashion Rebel Etsy shop. And now I'm just dragging this all out. So have a lovely month. And thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Take it slow and see you.
Don't forget to take it slow. Bye.